Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. How's it going? How you doing? What's up, people? Party people? Party people? Welcome back to Southern Limbus. You know how it be, how it do. Hope you guys are doing well. It is, unfortunately, the beginning of the week, which is the worst time of the week, but the best time for Limbus, because we got new patch, we got kit reveal, and we're gaming. That's right. Live. We're gaming. What are we going to be doing today? We're going to be doing two things. Number one, we're going to be going over the season patch, which I should actually probably get ready up here so you guys can see. Where is it? This is it, right? Yeah, this is it. Okay. We have the season patch, which we'll go over and discuss together. And then we'll also be discussing the fishy, which, to be honest with you, I did a pretty good discussion of fishy in my normal video, but we'll go over the specifics today. What's my placement of Canto 9 compared to the other ones? I really don't like answering these questions because I physically struggle to actually determine where I put it. I think this is definitely top. I think this is definitely number one for me. I think this one might be number one. Just so much stuff happened in it. I loved everything. I loved all the fights. I loved all the characters. I liked the amount of lore. I loved the references. I loved the emotional. This is the first one that actually made me tear up, even if it was during the pass on song. So that one actually, the fact that it actually got me emotional. I know that basic reaction changes. Yes. I did. Thank you so much for telling me. The fact that it actually got me emotional definitely means that's not saying that the other ones didn't make me emotional, but this one actually made me break. So because it made me break, it gets even bonus points for that. And I had difficulty. I mean, I did a self-imposed difficulty, and I was using like somewhat modern to modern day IDs with new egos and stuff. So I felt that it was pretty fair in terms of difficulty. Maybe on the easier side, but I think easier where it mattered, and then hard where it did, easier where it didn't really wasn't a problem, and then hard where it was fair. Is it gameplay? No, just the model. Just the model. Yeah, the thing about Canto 7 I was very Don Quixote in the last node, like the last scene with the entire fight with Don versus Dad, plus the cutscene, plus everything that I was on the cusp, but I wasn't live streaming. I never live streamed Canto 7, which I regret, by the way. I literally could have. I just didn't do it for some reason. I so regret not streaming Canto 7 because I thought that's when we had Z-Tune. Oh my god. We had the blood. Oh, dude, and that 7 fight was so good. I really enjoyed that 7. That part where Don Quixote was crying to Dad, like when she was that one, I was on the cusp. That one I was on the edge of breaking. But then the pass on was very goofy, and that like all the tension just flew out of my body. I was like, oh. Anyway, so how are we all doing? Hope you guys are well. What are we going to be doing today? I will repeat just in case. I want a Z-Tune plus 2. True. So we're going to be going over the scheduled update for this patch, which is the first patch post Canto 9. Now that we're here, we're back to regular scheduled content every 2 weeks. We'll get new IDs every week. We'll get a patch. Maybe we'll get new stuff. And then after that, we'll talk about the Ishmael ID. And then after that, I guess we'll play Mirror Dungeon. Woohoo! Yeah. I guess we'll do that. I was out on a mini vacation. Damn. That's dedicated to the commitment. Dedicated to the bit. Alright, well, shall we get started with, when we'll get Mirror Dungeon? I think we'll get Mirror Dungeon, not next week, but the week after. I think we'll get it the week after next. At least that's what I think. My assumption was 2 weeks after Canto 9. Right? So this is the first week of Canto 9, which will be next week. So, or the first fortnight content after Canto 9. I wonder if we get a premiere. Oh, dude, I'm waiting for it. I'm hanging. Well, Purgus will be tomorrow. Yes, well, Purgus will be tomorrow. How long till the UI changes? I mean, we don't know. A lot of things that I thought would have happened already have not happened yet. The thing you have to remember is they had all of their priority focused on Canto 9. Canto 9 was the most important thing that they had to focus on. UI, Threadspin 5, skin potential, all of that, railway, none of that, including Walpurgis, was on the back foot until Canto 9 was finished. Canto 9 is now finished. And dare I say, they put fucking budget in Canto 9. I mean, Canto 9 sitting next to Canto 8 with the most amount of budget. They gave up. Oh, no. They definitely, like, okay, here's the thing. The skin system was nothing more than a concept. Alright? The skin system was nothing more than a concept for a band-aid solution to a problem in which Walpurgis naturally created. The problem was, there's a lot of cool Walpurgis IDs and egos we want to include, but we can't because Walpurgis only appears every 4 to 6 months. Now, there were either two paths that could be took. One, they make the skin system where they could include these filler IDs as skins, and then you could slap them on a character. Or, I think the better option, which is completely just dominates the skins out of the water, just make more IDs. So now you get your favorite San Yi Sang, but it's an actual ID, so you can just use them. Which, so I think more frequent Walpurgis is way better than Trident Smog, in my opinion. I see, it's a complete upscale in every single way. Because, like, I'm going to get the San Yi Sang, and then I'm going to be like, yeah, I can use any Yi Sang I want, but, like, I want to use San Yi Sang. Well, here you can just fucking use San Yi Sang. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, at least. I can dispense Warp IDs, right? Yeah, so you can dispense the previous Walpurgis. That includes filler. So, with the filler system... Right? With the Walpurgis filler system, every 2 months, theoretically, there should be a Walpurgis. And then every 2 months, you can shard the previous Walpurgis, including the filler one. So you can realistically never pull on Walpurgis, chat. That's what that means. If it is actually every 2 months, realistically, that means you never have to pull on Walpurgis. It might logically be every 3 months. No, because they said 4 months for story. Yeah, so it would be every 2 months. So yeah. Realistically, that means you never have to pull on Walpurgis, because 2 months later, the next Walpurgis comes out, and you can just put shard on that. Middle Age Toy Story will be so sad. Yeah. Yeah, every 2 months is the best way to do it. We haven't heard any updates for it, because you gotta understand the way that ProjectMoon handles things, especially our director. Director will say stuff that's on his mind... Right? Like, he will say stuff that he wants to do, and then you won't hear anything about it until, like, 8 months later, where he'll bring it up, like, randomly again. You know? So that's, like, the funniest thing. Like, he haphazardly mentioned, I want more floors, like, more Mirror Dungeon floors. And we all laughed, haha, Kim Ji-hoon, what do you mean you want more than 10 floors? 10 floors is a lot. And then, like, 5 months later, or, like, 6 months later, we get, like, Extreme. No benefit, like, a full rework to the achievement system, and then Extreme. And then he goes and says, Wouldn't it be nice if we had 20 floors? And we're like, sir, please. Director, no. Director, no, don't do it. And then he's like, but then he says, I don't think we're going to add any more floors to Mirror Dungeon. I'd rather just work on a new Mirror Dungeon game mode. Right? So it's like, ooh, new Mirror Dungeon game mode? New Mirror Dungeon Mirror Dungeon? The triple mirror? Who knows? Anyway, I bet you're all here for the actual schedule update notice. I was just stalling for time until we got people. So, new MD, not confirmed. Not confirmed. Just something that he was speaking about. Okay, I'll explain it. So, Kim Ji-hoon mentioned he mentioned a possibility of a theoretical new Mirror Dungeon, which would be more like a roguelike than the Mirror Dungeon already is. Thank you for stalling. So it would be a separate game mode, like it would be a new Mirror Dungeon, and it would be like a more roguelike game mode. Because Mirror Dungeon is more of a power fantasy game. I would not really call Mirror Dungeon a roguelike. I would say it's more like a power fantasy simulator. Or just a challenge simulator. I guess that's a way to put it. But roguelike, I wouldn't really say roguelike. So, roguelike, I would say is more like RR5. I would say Railway 5 is more like a roguelike because you could actually pick your powers after every fight, and you can just do completely different powers each run, and that's completely different. How to save a ton of modules? I'm modulus. All you want to do is you want to spend your lunacy. I know it hurts. Spend a minimum of 1 lunacy to refresh your energy and confinement, and then convert that. If you want to be greedy, and I do recommend it, you can spend 2 lunacies to get 2 refreshers, which costs about 76 lunacy, I think. But that eats into your weekly maintenance cost. So I would say just spend 1 lunacy, like 26 lunacy, to get your refresh. You'll earn plenty. All right. So let's talk about the scheduled update notice. January 22nd, scheduled update notice. Greetings, manager. The server will enter the scheduled maintenance at the usual time, as per usual. Thrice. I wouldn't say it 3 times. You should always do it once, no matter what. You want to hop on. Okay, so here's the thing. You want to log on the game 2 times a day and do 1 refresh. You log on in the morning, right? You claim, you refresh, you claim, and then you log in at night, and then you claim again. So that's 2 days worth. And then that will get you about over 20 modules. You spend 12 modules on your dailies. That means you keep 8 modules, and then you make it a profit. If you have a lot of a lunacy, or you buy the daily lunacy bundles, then yes, you can do twice. All right, new content. We have the Target Extraction House of Spiders Middle Apprentice Fishy. Obviously, she is a Season 7 identity. We have this pretty little middle design. I like the cute little designs they always do on these. Then we move on right down to major changes. A skip function will be added to allow forced progression if controls become unresponsive during a certain cutscene while progressing through the main story chapter 9. Please note that the skip button will appear in the top right corner if no input is detected for a certain period of time. Okay, I know exactly what scene this is. This is referring to the drag scene. I won't say it directly because just in case, but I'm pretty sure this is in response to the interactive scenes. I'll say, yeah, this is for the interactive scene. So I'm sure there are some times like maybe where you're bugged out and you can't use your mouse or anything, or this like if you're using your phone, like the sensory screens are not working. Well, it's more like if you're unable to access it, right? Like, if you're unable to actually do the scene, you can skip it, which will just progress onto the next scene. Like, it's the same thing. So that's just a quality of life thing. They might add that to the previous Canto as well. They might add that to Canto 7 too. Then we have a very ominous change. The stage node image for main story 9.4 and 18 will be changed. I am curious what the node image for 4 and 18 is already. What is the one for 4 and 18? All the way back here. This one? I assume this banner is changing. So this banner is changing, I assume, I guess. And then 18 would be this one? I assume is what they're referring to. I'm not really sure what they mean by the stage banner will change. But that is the stage node image, so yeah, I guess that's gonna change. It'll be glitchy, maybe. Maybe it will be. Interesting. Interesting. I guess that's one we'll have to take note of. And I believe that's it for major changes. So that's it for the major changes. Again, nothing too big in terms of major changes. So a skip function for yay, watermelon. A skip function for that cutscene and the stage image changes. Now we move on to bug fixes and improvements. And might I just say, I'm gonna zoom in on this. This is very important that I zoom in on this. Fix an issue where the HP recovery conditional for the Priest of La Mancha Land Ailing Heart did not match the description. Before, all skills, including base skills, healed HP on hit. After, HP will be healed on hit with base skills matching the text description. If you are aware of why that is such a big deal, that is because that's the bug we submitted on live to ProjectMoon. In fact, I could actually tell you, hold on, let me tell you guys when I submitted that bug. This bug is, we submitted it with evidence. This is something we submitted. Now, obviously, we're not the only people in the world who probably found this bug, right? Like, I'm not going to take credit for that. But I am going to take credit because we did submit a bug report for this. So if I go over here real quick to see when we submitted the bug. It is over at... Where is it? Sent. Ah! Here it is. ProjectMoon. Is this what we sent? Priest Gregor Ailing Heart Bug. Priest Gregor Ailing Heart Bug. We sent that on the 12th of the 12th, chat. We sent that on the 12th of the 12th. That was over a month ago. Actually, 2 months ago now. Well, yeah, no, about over a month ago. Which is a W. So there you go. Over a month ago, and it's finally been patched. But there is some sad news. There was no lunacy. I'm sorry, chat. They did not deem it worthy of lunacy. We did not receive lunacy for compensation. Therefore, we have made the game better. But at what cost? At what cost? No lunacy, chat. I'm sorry. Why did I do this? I'm sorry. I wanted lunacy for it. I wanted to give you guys lunacy. But they denied. They said no. No, you're not getting lunacy. They said you're not getting that shit. They said we do not care. Alright, let me put this back up. So is Gregor weekend out? No, he's just fixed now. He's bug fixed. All right, let us also go to the next one. Fix an issue where the calculation formula for Dishi-associated South Section 4 Yi-Sang support passive was incorrectly applied. We could just zoom in on that, go back to zooming in on this. So, we have relevant effect. Gain 5 discarded skill rank of max HP shield. Before, gained 5 plus discarded rank % shield. After, gain 5 times discarded rank on shield plus shield, matching the text description. Oh, so the Yi-Sang shield was nerfed. Okay, so the Yi-Sang shield was actually like doing nothing. Yi-Sang was giving 9 shield. Now it's 5%. I do not send bugs. I had to teach them a lesson. This game is not without me. No, guys, listen. Okay, listen when I say this. No, this is good. This means it's working as intended now. This is a good thing. Listen, you do not do good deeds in life expecting rewards. You do good deeds in life to procure good karma. And if you have enough good karma, there is a more likely chance that luck will favor you in a positive way. That's the difference, okay? We didn't send the bug report to fix Gregor because we expected lunacy. We sent in the bug report because we are passionate about getting the game fixed. All right? And if we got lunacy as a bonus, then that would have been nice. But we didn't. Anyway, Yi-Sang is fixed now, so it's worse on S1, yeah, but it's better overall now. There's no menu. You get what you deserve. Ooh. This writing is fire? We are a Limbus company. Fix an issue where the main target skills of skills with 2 attack weight use clashable guards to defend. The damage reduction effect was also applied to sub-targets. Please note that while this issue was fixed with the update, it was missing from its scheduled update notice. Oh. So this was this was a Canto 9 Part 3 patch bug. Okay, so this is okay, so there was an attack weight bug where for clashable guard. So if you attacked something with a clashable guard.
Karma. 1, 2.
Uh-oh.
The way your karma returns each rumbling of the earth.
Oh, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. I'm bad. Thank you so much. I'm bad. Karma. The weight of your karma. Ah! I'm getting you signatted. It's okay. Wait, I have 0 karma. I'm fine. Actually, wait, no, I have 5 karma. Anyway, this is good. Fix this. Summon Mersault. Fix an issue where when pride damage is triggered due to a certain skill effect in the main story, Chapter 9 battle, the final power modifier did not change the damage values. Relevant skill. You have failed to stop the future Scar Trail slide. What? I don't even know what skill this is. Is this... This is not Rien. Is it? No. Is this... I actually have no idea. 4 random chat got healed 17 SP. True. I have no idea. I don't know who this is. Is this Ren? No. Is this Roshu? Might be Roshu. Oh, it's the DUA star. Oh, yes. No, yeah, no, this is the DUA star. Okay. Yeah, this is the DUA. This is the DUA star. Okay. Fix an issue where in stage 950, where a certain skill effect used by an enemy during a certain phase did not function properly. Relevant effect. Can clash with this skill regardless of speed. We have identified that this effect functions normally before the phase transition but fails to activate afterwards. The effect will be adjusted to function as its per text description. I think this is also something to do with... Oh, this is Rian. I know what this is. This is obviously Rian. And then we have improved game mechanic for a specific enemy skill encountered in 950. Before only Ryoshin can clash against this skill. After only Ryoshin can clash against this skill, Ryoshin can clash with this skill regardless of speed. Okay. So that's good. That means it's easier for Ryo. It's easier for you to do the boss gimmick now, which is nice. Oh. What is this? Elaborated K-Corp ampule description. Oh, emergency ampule description. Added text. This effect activates before X does not reduce HP below 1 effects from identities and ego passives. Ah. Well, that's good. Okay. So it always did that, but yeah, this is a textual elaboration for the sake of clarity. The effect is functioning as intended. Okay. So yeah. The ampules all not reduce HP below 1 effect. Yeah. So passives are always last, pretty much, which is expected. Okay. Then we have fix an issue where a certain voice line of Lei Hang announcer activates on an incorrect trigger. A lot of announcer bugs recently. Starting turn after dealing damage and starting turn after taking damage will now trigger on dealing devastating damage and taking devastating damage respectively. Starting turn after dealing damage and starting turn after taking damage will now trigger on starting turn after dealing devastating and starting turn after taking devastating damage. Okay. Okay, so it was... Okay, so the Lei Hang trigger was just on the wrong thing. Okay. Fix an issue where a Pekatula in VLI would sometimes speak the voice line of the original... Bro, what? Yeah, they got swapped. Hold on. Pardon me? How do we trigger this? Fix issue where a Pekatulum in VDI would sometimes speak the voice line of an original identity. Hold on, I kind of want to hear that now. I have never had this bug happen. I kind of wish I did. Foreshadowing? Is this foreshadowing? Ah, 6. They speak? They shouldn't. The meta people are hating on my Pearl Kira girl Ishmael. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with her. You want to know why? I'll give you a very easy reason as why.
It's because, why won't I use her for bleed when, Kurokoma Captain Ishmael already exists?
That's why. The only reason. It's like, bro, it's an envy res. It's not a bleed count. Oh, the middle don't do bleed. Okay, they just do counter. They don't do bleed. Pushing my fucking glasses so far into my forehead, I'm breaking my skull. Meta people are mad that the middle Ishmael Kira is similar to the Kira kit. Crazy. Isn't it crazy that the kit is similar to the kit used by the character? You know, I noticed that a lot. The same thing was said for Daiju and Zichun, by the way. She only has an envy skill 3? Yeah, but it's like a... But it doesn't matter because you're supposed to count. Exactly. Also, Wrath is for you, so you can do burn. We'll talk about... Okay, you know what? We'll save the Ishmael talk for when we get to Ishmael. But This exact same thing has been said 3 times with Zichun, with Dayu, and now with Kira. Even though their kits are literally 95 to 90% replicas of the exact character, it's never enough. Just ignore the metamancers. They're not going to use the character anyway. They don't even play. Look, just ignore what the metamancers say. They don't even play the game anyway. Like, they don't play the game anyway. So who cares what they think? They can think all they want. They can complain on twitter.com or reddit.com or the ProjectMoon Discord community Discord. It don't matter. It really don't matter. Because this is a single player game, baby, so I really don't give a fuck about your opinions. Because it's a single player game. I do what I want. Not like a multiplayer game. It's not like I'm on a team with a I'm on a team with fucking Jane Byrne and Jim Bleed over here. And they're gonna hang me for using a fucking mixed ID. Nerf Toast Rizzle, Zichun. Zichun kit is literally 95% accurate. The only difference is the status, is the amount of application, but that's because NPC applications are always bigger than IDs because they're NPCs. Okay, anyway, continuing on. We'll talk about Ishmael after. Fix an issue where activating a combo attack with a Lord of Hong on skill 3 and a High Shapak branch Rodion would sometimes cause the skill effects to linger. Never had that. I'm stuck on Dogback phase 2. Okay, best thing about Dogback phase 2 is you need to break the trees. Like, that's the most important part. So what you need to do is you need to save the last person, the slowest person on your team needs to clash with Dogback, and then you need to kill the trees. I think typically it only takes maybe 1 or 2 IDs per to break the trees. I think you get 7 in the fight. So 2, 4. So you could break like 2 or 3 trees. Yeah, Spring Cultivation issue would never happen. I mean, yeah, Spring Cultivation issue is fucking insane. The meta people in the middle doesn't apply 99 count, 99 potency in a single turn. I had some people in the some people in the comments I was reading, they were saying, if this ID doesn't inflict burn count, then what's the point? Like, what's the point of inflicting burn if you don't inflict all of it? But I'm like, and I read, I'm like, did you read the passive? Did you actually, not even did you read the character kit? Did you listen to me say it? The part where it said, any instance of bleed infliction counts as burn as part of the kit? I was like, it's a burn. Yeah, everything there is burn. So it's like bleed potency, bleed count, burn potency, burn count. That's how the kit is worded. I can't read. I'm Chinese. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I swear some people didn't see that. But anyway, I said I want to talk about this until we get to Ishmael. I'm sorry. Fix an issue where Lobotomy Corp, Ego, Solemn Lament you saying would use his skill at an incorrect location. I guess that's like the positioning of his skill. Limbus players don't read. Even Faust don't read. Oh no! Stupid Faust. I would never call Faust stupid Faust. Fix an issue where in-combat text deletion effect would activate in certain encounters. The said effect would not apply to certain text. Okay, so I guess some texts didn't get deleted. Fix an issue where in the cultivation and battle scenes, attempting to view G-Tune's detail info in 8.5 locks all of the unit's skills and passives. Very interesting. Fix an issue where in certain combat encounters of C9, defeated assisted units may overlap with other allied units. I don't think I've ever had an assist unit die, but I guess potentially. Fix an issue where in stage 949, certain VFX loaded unintended locations. Okay, fair enough. Fix an issue where in a certain combat encounter of Canto 9, a Sinner's Ego animation will play at a correct timing. That's probably Sinclair, I think. Fix an issue where a certain unit would not stop using the same skill on stage 950. Fans fighting over the most illiterate fandom of all time. I know, right? This is funny. I'm pretty sure this is the... Didn't Rian have something where he'd spam Furioso or something? I'm not sure. I can't wait for the Leviathan to unlock. True. I don't remember what skill was spammed, but some skill was spammed. JP fix an issue where 37 a character with a wrong name. Fix an issue where combat sprite would load incorrectly in the post-clear animation, 958. Issue where in stage 939 a certain character used an incorrect story sprite. The reading the culling game rules is impossible when the anime goes over it for like 2 seconds. Dude, okay, I'm gonna have to pause it because I was told people were mad. They were down, okay. This is how you, like, this, it's, like, we're getting cooked as a society. How is JJK, no matter how you feel about JJK Season 3, Episode 3 is being rated the worst episode so far because it has words. It took them 20 minutes to digest the entire episode, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought they did a pretty good job explaining it. Like, I've already read the manga, I already know everything about JJK. So, when I was watching to it, I was like, yeah, they did a pretty good job with the graphs and stuff. It's like, you know what it is? It reminds me of the solo leveling meme, where the worst rated solo leveling episode is the one where Sun Jin Woo cries. Because he's emotional that he did something, he did a goal that he was trying to achieve. That's exactly the same feeling I get here, where it's like JJK fans downvoting it because they had to read, right? Isn't it collect points, people have points, kill them, be like that? Well, they were explaining what the culling game is. They were explaining Kenjaku's plan for the culling game. They were explaining there's 7 rules in the culling game, and they were going over why each rule is the way it is, and why they couldn't do something specific to try and counteract the rules. Or a moment paused. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, carrying on. KR fix the typo in the flavor text with the Leviathan. I don't know how you're supposed to say that. I'm just gonna say Leviathan. Fix the issue in stage 945. Certain animations played incorrectly in the encounter clear cutscene. Fix the issue where rapidly tapping, giving up, or retry could cause the buttons to be interacted with more than twice. Fix an issue where VFX tied to a certain announcer continue to play even when not viewing the announcer. And then JP updated lyric subtitles to Canto 9's Millie song. 300 lunacy, chat. Unfortunately, it is only 300 lunacy. That's right. No bonus lunacy for Gregor. What do you mean no pretty explosion? I might as well be blind. 300 lunacy, only 300 lunacy. And we had some pretty... This was probably the biggest bug change here, to be honest with you. It's the Gregor one. At least it's something. I will take it. Maybe next patch. Just 3 lunacy. So I'll go over real quick in case you didn't get what we hear. Ishmael ID comes out. There's a skip function now for interactive cutscenes. A visual story, no change. Priest Gregor got fixed to where he doesn't heal off everything anymore. Yi-Sang's support passive now gives you the proper amount of shield. And a lot of Canto 9 quality of lives. You want to know also something, guys, I want to mention? No nerfs. No nerfs. We have essentially gone the entire season. Now that Canto 9's over, the first week after Canto 9, no nerf. If they were gonna do nerfs, they were gonna do it now. There's no nerfs. Priest Gregor was bugged. His ailing heart was healing off every skill, not just base skills. Does that mean that the other ones could be male or female? Typically, they don't always restrict it to gender. It's like an 80-20. Right? It's like an 80-20 if an ID gets restricted to a gender. 80% of the time, it'll be correlating to the same gender of the character. And then 20% of the time, they'll just say, fuck it, we bore. Right? But most of the time, I would even argue it's a 90-10. I'd say, I think 80% is too high. 90-10. In this instance, it looks like they could be having one of the nurse fathers be a different sinner. Which I think would be a good play. Yeah, Spice Bushy saying there's more as well. Maybe Otis. That's what I'm thinking, Otis. But it's not the first time we've had an ID release that didn't necessarily have a immediate ego and ID to go with it. But my assumption is also Otis. Was the Emperor, but that was me being a dumbass. Going with 2 underleveled blunt weak IDs. Yeah, there were some fights that were like tough, but I wouldn't say that anything deserved nerfs. You know what? Maybe we'll even do some fights today. Who knows? And then that's it. And then some quality of life bugs. Now we go. Now we move on to Fishmail. First of all, look at this cute little fish. Look at her. Oh, she's reading her. She's reading her little fixer and monthly. Oh, no fight was like late hang level. The only one that I think would be the closest to that would have been Rich Emperor. It's Ishmael. And she's got the hoodie on. It's why Ishmael. Alright, let's talk about Ishmael. And why some people might be saying she's... Oh, not some people. I don't even see most people saying it. I only see like the really like... It's literally the same fucking song. It's the same song. Anyway, let's talk about this. First of all, we have a 2-coin Lust Blunt. She's mono blunt. Obviously, she's a middle identity. This is pretty much the same S1 that every other one has. Right? This is pretty much the same S1 that all the other middles have. First of all, she gets coin power. I think she gets coin power for every skill. She gets coin power on her skill 1. She heals SP on use, which is very nice. She inflicts bleed, she deals bonus damage, and she inflicts bleed count, but only if you have the augmented tattoos, which we'll get to that in a situation. But it is a standard S1. Look, you're never impressed with any S1. It's an S1. It's whatever. The skill 2 is the big one. Skill 2 is a 3-coin Wrath. She gets coin power on burn and bleed. She gets offense level up depending on resin. Doesn't matter what resin. As long as it's an A-res, she gets more buffs. She gets aggro, so she can tank. She gets her burn with thermal blades. So this skill activates with thermal blades. Like, now you are hitting Chozo? No, I have not seen that. It sounds really funny. S1 bleed count, which is massive. Yeah, all of her skills have bleed count. It's probably like a -1 or a +2, I assume. I don't see nothing more than that. So here, everything that is bleed inflicts burn. Read this. If the unit has bleed with certain coins inflict burn by the base amount of the bleed the skill inflicts, that implies it is both bleed potency and bleed count, which would be burn potency and burn count. So, first coin inflicts bleed potency, second one bleed count. Third one deals blunt bonus damage, and then the biggest thing here is if this unit has the middle augmentation tattoo, inflict paralyze and bind in 2026. Now, I was told, some people you told me, that the last character to release that had paralyze was fucking bamboo-hatted Kim Mersault. Bamboo-hatted Kim Mersault. That was back in season 3. Season 3. That was 4 seasons ago. Well, 3 seasons ago, if you want to be pedantic. So, in comparison to that, this is a very easy paralyze. You think she'll apply a decent amount of bleed count? I'm not sure. All of the middle... We'll open the Limbus wiki. Actually, I could just open the game. We'll compare her numbers to all of the other middle identities and get like a reference there. I mean, yeah, it'll be 1 paralyze. Season 3 was like more than a year ago. Save Limbus Society. So this also includes burn, by the way. So she inflicts bleed and burn potency. She inflicts bleed count and burn count. She deals blunt bonus damage. She does paralyze and bind. So it's probably going to be 2 bind and 1 paralyze, or I doubt it'll be 2 paralyze, but it could be. But I think it's 1 paralyze, 2 bind. And it's a 3 coin. I mean, like, this is a good bread and butter skill. Like, this is a skill too, like a good bread and butter skill. But obviously the most important skill is here, which is the envy skill, right? The skill 3 envy skill. We have Violet. It's a 4 coin, which I think the only other 4 coin skill we have on the middle is Don Quixote's skill 3. Their middle team, it might be worth. Might be worth. We'll have to see. I mean, I already think the middle is strong, but yeah, they're getting stronger every day. So we have 4 coin envy. We have, again, coin power for burn and bleed on the target. We have, again, offense level by highest resin, or a resin is even stronger. We have thermal blades, which again will inflict both bleed and burn. Okay. Then we have final power for the middle grudge, which is a buff she gets on herself. So she gets final power. We have consume the grudge. And then if this skill is activated as a counter, specifically, you gain blunt damage up next turn. She inflicts bleed and burn potency. She inflicts bleed and burn count. And the most important one on the 4th coin, she deals envy resin. X% of this coin's final damage as slash bonus damage, and then also inflicts bleed slash burn. I put a watermelon in her mouth? Do it anyway. So they love. This is the Kim Ji-hoon. This is the 3rd time you have presented deal % of this coin's final damage as slash bonus damage. Actually, is it the 4th time now? Hey, dude. They discovered it once, and they were like, "This is kind of fucking awesome, actually. Let's do it again." And they did it again. They just love doing it. They love doing it. And then bleed. So this is probably her best. I mean, this is obviously her best skill. This, I'm not sure how much damage it could be, because if it's based off any re-res, it's gonna have a cap of like 100 or something, maybe. Or a cap of like 80 or 75. I'm not sure. But very awesome. Then we move on to her counter, which is the main thing. So this is with this. We have combat start at some of... Oh, there's a 2 coin blunt, obviously. At some of envy A res, you use Violet Breaking Slam. Now, this is most likely 6 A res. Should I add this to my burn bleed team? Maybe. I'm not suggesting anything until after it's come out and after we play with it for a bit. Right? We're gonna play with it. Once I play with it, I can get my opinion on it. But percentages are usually always powerful. So exactly the same as Sinclair. This is probably 6 resin. And also she gets shield, the exact same as Sinclair. So she gets a missing % of her HP, missing % of X% of her missing HP as shield, which means she can take more. And then the standard counter lower her own stagger threshold, or lower user stagger threshold, and then inflicts bleed. So same as Sinclair's, I think. What does the sum of an envy res mean? It'll be at 6 plus sum of it. So pretty much at 6 plus 8 envy A res. So if you hit like 6 envy A res and then you get like 2 more envy reses on top, but they're not A reses, it counts pretty much. Chi Association mentioned. I'll get you back for this, man. And then we move on to her first passive. This unit is considered an identity that inflicts burn and bleed. Now, the reason that this is said here, okay, is because you are not always inflicting burn and bleed. If this unit has thermal blades, skills that inflict bleed are considered skills that also inflict both burn and bleed. Okay? This is wording for most likely Mirror Dungeon, Ring Sang alert. Burn and bleed, yep. This is mainly a ego gift and passive check. Alright? Now, the reason that this is for not only keywords, guys, but some support passives. Some support passives that target allies that, you know, inflict burn. Ishmael will not be counted for it if she did not have this. So all this does is it lets support passives and passives know, hey, she is a burn identity. She can count toward burn buffs that you give her. This also includes keywords and egos like that. My Liu Ishmael on my sinking burn team? Liu Ishmael on my sinking burn team? Maybe. I'm not sure. You could. Yeah, she doesn't actually, she doesn't directly inflict burn. She just does both. And then we move on to her real passive. Now, this is a chunky passive, as you can see here. The middle never forgets. We have turn end, inflict the vengeance mark to the enemy that dealt the most skill damage to an ally. Now, vengeance mark is something we already have in the middle. I believe it gives the middle final power. You know what? Let's check. Hold on. I'm gonna check. Hold on. Let me just open up the Limbus wiki. Limbus company. Middle Mersault. Yeah. Applied to units that just deal the most damage. Okay, so it is just applied to units that dealt the most damage to an ally this turn. So. Every time this unit is hit by an enemy, you gain the grudge. When an other ally who is a middle is hit by an enemy, you gain grudge. If the target that attacked it has the vengeance mark, gain even more grudge. Yeah, it's just a status pretty much. Combat style, if the dashboard has an envy A-res, you multiply the amount of grudge obtained this turn. Now, this is very important. Is she just burn and bleed? Well, she's envy res. Envy res, burn, bleed. Yeah, I think there's different units apply, like, interact with the mark differently. We'll check it out in game. I think, buddy, you saying ego, honestly, mood. So here, the biggest thing here is how do you burn and bleed? Well, you gotta. That's the part you gotta figure out. That's the part where you gotta do some experimenting. If you're on fire, how does bleed come out? Actually, it's the other way. They bleed you until you're on fire. Must she be on a team? I can't answer that because she's not out yet. She's not out yet. You'd have to wait until I get her on Thursday. But she does want envy. You could put her on an envy burn team and she would work. There's I think there's 3 burn identities in the game that inflict envy. It's Heathcliff, Liu Sang, and ironically, Liu Ishmael. So that's 3 right there. Moving on to the passive, gain middle augmentation tattoo for every time this unit consumes the grudge. Now, the only way you can consume grudge is through skill 3. Right, so you have to use skill 3 and you'll consume the grudge on yourself to gain the middle style augmentation tattoo. And then combat style, if this unit does not have thermal blades, but you're at an X amount of envy resin, you gain thermal blades. And then combat style, if this unit has thermal blades, you gain envy resin thermal blades. So, going over the passive real quick again. Okay? Whoever attacks someone gets the mark. Whenever an ally is attacked, whenever Ishmael is attacked, she gets grudge. Whenever a middle is attacked, she gets grudge. If someone has the vengeance mark and they attack, they get more grudge. If you do an envy A-res, you multiply the amount of grudge you get. Yeah, there is a 3 envy res. Yeah. You Heathcliff and Liu Sang are both envy burn. Then, when you consume the grudge, you will gain the augmentation tattoo effect. The augmentation tattoo effect lets you do the bleed count on S1. It also lets you do the paralyze and bind on skill 2. Oh yeah, Dawnclare with his skill 2. I completely forgot about Dawnclare. Yeah, you're right. My bad, my bad. And then does the skill 3 have anything to do with the augmentation effect? No, so it's just the skill 2 and 3 get the skill 2 and 1 get buffed by the augmentation tattoo. And then the thermal blade status, which actually lets her inflict burn, you have to maintain an NV resin, not an A res, just a normal resin. So the first time you use an NV resin in the combat, you will gain thermal blades. You will then gain a much smaller amount of thermal blades, and you have to maintain that with NV. Then we move on to her support passive, which is here is, hey, are you gonna fix this too? We have the number 1 deployed identity's base attack skills gain clash power, and if the dashboard has an NVA res, the number 1 deployed identity deals more damage with base skills. Can I just say how cracked of a support passive this is? Like, a lot of characters that have a... Like, that. This has to be, like, some sort of envy resin. Right? It's a very, very strong... Anything that's tied to the deployed identity is very good, because that means you don't have to worry about speed, you don't have to worry about health, you don't have to worry about anything. You just have to be the first deployed. That's very good. And then we actually have the buffs. So we have middle augmentation tattoos. So what does it give you? The augmentation tattoos give you final power for every stack. Most likely, I want to say 2 final power, maybe. And then you also deal envy skills, and your blunt skills deal more damage, which is good. That means all of your skills and your skill 3 encounter are stronger. The grudge makes her deal even more damage if the target specifically has the mark, which, again, bosses you're not going to have an issue with. And the thermal blade, now this is honestly, I think, the most important part here. If a target hit has burn, when you have the thermal blades, you will heal SP. Right? This here, I think, is a lot more important than people think. This allows her to heal SP without clashing, which is very good if you are a middle identity, because obviously you want to counter as much as possible. And it might have a cap. It might be like 5 SP per turn or something. I don't know. But being able to just heal SP after getting hit pretty much guarantee is pretty good. Oh, also inflict burn when inflicting bleed with skill coins. And then reduce its stack. Capote spam. And that's the kit. Look, that's it. I think, in my personal opinion, it looks pretty strong. Like it looks pretty. I won't say strong because obviously I don't know, but it looks pretty good. Like, middle Sinclair is incredibly good, right? Like there's like, let me tell you how slept on middle Sinclair is. Okay, middle Sinclair is a fucking monster. All right. So, if this is even like, this is on the same level as middle Sinclair, I'd say. Because middle Sinclair is a beast. He's a standard fare too, but he is a monster. The Avtai one is cute as hell. I mean, that is true. Yeah, her coin power conditionals are a lot easier. This is all a middle cloud scale. And look, if we go on to the middle team here, which if I go to... I'll just put the middle on so we can... I'll just put the middle on so we can compare them, right? So if we compare with Sinclair's, he gets 5 SP, so that's most likely what we're going to get. He flicks 1-1, obviously. He gets, see, look, exact same thing as Ishmael. Aggro on the skill 2. he gets a max of 3 with non-A-res, and then A-res, he gets 6. Okay, except his one, he does 20% more damage, right? Instead of his coin. And he inflicts a little bit of bleed. And then the skill 3, he gets, again, the same thing, the resin. And he gets just flat damage modifiers. Now, Ishmael doesn't get the flat damage modifier, but Ishmael herself gets the bonus damage. So if we wanted to compare this bonus damage, we would be more... we'd be more likely to go compare it to... Heathcliff. Which is here. So his one is at max 50% increased damage. Then we also have... Don Quixote High Show. Which is... 50% of this final coin as damage, so 50% of final damage. Then we also have... Pretty sure hers has this, right? Doesn't it? Which one of hers had it? Was it Faust who had it? Someone else had it. I don't remember. Check Seven Otis? Yeah, sure. We'll check Seven Otis. You want to look at Seven Otis's one? All right, here. Look at Seven Otis's one. 15%. Poor Seven Otis. So 50-50. And then we're going to have the... Oh, wait. It was... Was it Roja? It wasn't Roja, was it? No, she raised Stagger Threshold. Someone else had it. I swear someone else had it. Or is this only the third one? Anyway. So it looks to be around 50%. If we go to middle again. And he has Vendetta Mark. So he has Vendetta Mark, which translates into Book of Vengeance. He has so many hidden modifiers as well about Middle Sinclair. So yeah, I think she's gonna be a pretty good fit, to be honest with you. Because the whole thing about the middle, it's like, oh, they don't have a lot of bleed count. Like they have a bleed count. Well, if Ishmael's coming with a bleed count. Also, I think Mersault has a. He also heals SP, which is good. That's more SP to heal. He gets final power. Do the others apply Vendetta Mark? Actually, hold on. Do you apply Vendetta Mark? He does. Okay. They all apply Vendetta Mark, except for Sinclair. But the more allies getting Vendetta Mark is the better. What do I want from 9 the most? Moses. I want Moses. I want Moses. Exactly the same thing here. She gets highest at resin and offense level gained. Oh, let's scratch my eye real quick. In fact, is she the only one that inflicts? Hold on, is she the only... What about Mersault? Oh, well, there you go. I didn't notice it, but... Yeah, Ishmael is the only one... Is the only middle ID that inflicts bleed count. Well, there you go. Ain't that a motherfucker? So there you go, guys. Bleed count in 2026 has yet again been saved. Think about it. You can't think about it. How do you proc bleed count if everyone gets hit at the same time? How does a team with... Is she even middle? Yeah, she's fine. How do you even make a middle team? Alright, well, let's do that. If I had to make a middle team, I would obviously put the 3 middles here. All right. Then you could go. All right. So you want to use the new Ishmael idea. We're just gonna substitute Z-Tune as the reference here. Okay. Imagine that this is middle Z-Tune. So already you're like, all right. So I guess you're gonna like focus on bleed. But if you want to do a little bit of burn, you could do a little bit of burn. I would probably suggest putting in like Liu. I think that's a good one. He's got an Envy skill 3, so that's like, you know, that's pretty good if you can pop that out, right? Remember, you only really need... Well, okay. If you don't want it to be on skill 3, you could get... Well, I'd say you only need 2 burn identities. You could go Haisho with the skill 1s. Skill 1s are very common. And he does apply burn count to target an enemy. Right? So if you're going to use burn, like burn, you don't need much. You only need 1 more. You could go with Haisho Heathcliff as the secondary burn ID. And because they're S1s, it's quite common. So you most likely will get a lot of Envy res. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. Right? So that's 5. Then you need some bleed count. But you need some bleed count with Envy, right? So we need some Envy bleed count. How do you get the gluttony required for the instincts? The passive? Ah. Dude, this one, honestly, depends what team you're running them with. If you're at a low, burn IDs do have gluttony on them. Yeah, there's also middle Heath. Okay, I mean, like, yeah, okay, look, you could, okay, if you want to do it this way, you can. There's middle Heathcliff, right? You put middle Heathcliff on. First of all, if you want to have a bleed count issue, if you're running a middle team, you're running Pequod Heathcliff. Need to be all in a row? Yes, except for Middle Sister Don Quixote. Middle Sister Don Quixote is the only exception. Anyway, yeah. Pequod Heathcliff exists for a reason. Look, like, he does need a crit, but the skill 3... Yeah, like, he needs to crit on the skill 2. But he gets so much poise that it's not really a big issue. The middle Heath, yeah. So already you have... Here are all your bleed IDs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can fit 2 more. You can fit 1 burn unit, which I would recommend to be Liu Sang. Reason I'd say Liu Sang is because he has Wrath. If the ally has a base skill that inflicts burn, heal 5 SP to them. So this would affect Ishmael. This would affect Heathcliff. Right? And he heals people, which is very good. You could also very easily get Wrath Resin in this team as well. Because if we have a look, we have Wrath skill 3, Wrath skill 1, Wrath skill 2, Wrath counter, and counter, and skill 2. So you could easily get Wrath, so that's not a big deal. Then you need 1 more bleed unit for the resin team. Now, obviously, you want to get someone with a resin because you want to make sure you can be consistent, right? As long as you can get 6 out of the 7 to be consistent with with Envy, you're not really having an issue, right? Would it make Wing Beat inflict burn? It's only the skills that have... you have to have the on-use conditional. This. On use if this unit has it inflicted with these coins, right? So that's the only way you'll get it. Yeah, you could do Orshu. I mean, Orshu exists. I wouldn't really say that she's as Envy reliant. I mean, she's the same thing with I would say she's pretty inconsistent alongside Heathcliff. You really only want 1 consistency, but yeah. You get more red eyes with her. Very good. But you can do others. In terms of Envy, if you want to guarantee you can try and get Envy reses, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 IDs with a constant Envy res. Which means you only have to gamble for 2 identities with Envy. Which every turn is pretty good. So in this team setup already, right? We will need 1 more identity with a little bit of bleed. So, with a bit of bleed. So, my suggestion, chat, is very simple. Odism. I'll go for scissors. This is your bleed right here. This is your guaranteed envy res. First of all, you get to inflict needle, which is W. You get to consume envy resources. You get to heal based off envy. You get nails, which gives you bleed count. Zishbel's here as she's a filler. This is a sub in for a filler for Middle Ishmael. Where is Middle Otis? Where is Middle Otis? Now, I think a Giga Chad mood would definitely picking Barber. But if you want to synergize with Burn, I'd probably say Ring. Now, again, this team is relying on Otis Ego. But with Otis Ego, you can have a consistent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Barber doesn't have envy. None of them have envy. The only one that has envy is W Corp. But W Corp is not really going to give you many benefits to your team. She's supposed to buff the other charge units. Now, if you want to focus on your burn bleed, I would say Pointillism. If you want to focus on just bleed, I would suggest Barber. The reason I say Barber is because guess what? You get gluttony from her. So she's your gluttony fuel. And then you could just ego. Right, so in this theoretical, you have enough envy, because look how cheap this is. 1 lust, 3 envy. After turn 1, you can pop this ego every turn. Right? That's kind of like the point. So in this instance, I guess I'll just put Liu Ishmael here as like a reference, right? So you would have 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd have 4 middle. Okay? You'd have a 5th middle, technically. And this is your bleed count. These 2 are your bleed count. And so is Ishmael. And then you have the secondary burn unit, which I would say is Yisang in this instance. Because you'll pretty consistently hit this +2 on the skill 2. You get to give Dim Shred too. This also heals SP, which is very nice. And there you go. Again, imagine this is Middle Ishmael. Could you take Liu Roja? If you don't want to take Isang, you could take Roja. Roja does have a lot more burn count. So that is an option if you want to do that. She is the burn count queen, as you can see here. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3 burn count. Apply 3 burn to 2 count. I mean, look at it. 3 burn count skill 2. That's pretty goated. If you never want to worry about burn count, but if you're like very... Like, if you're very consistent with applying burn, because remember, you never need to apply more than 2 burn on 1 enemy a turn, right? 2 burn count. Do we have any duo burn bleed? Actually, yes, we do. Here is the original burn bleed ID, guys. I bet you forgot about that. The original. Don't worry, I forget about it too all the time. I always think he has no status, to be honest with you, but no, he's burn. He's a burn unit. And bleed. Yeah, there's also Pequod Ishmael. But in this instance, you're using middle. Now, this is actually... I'm actually going to make an argument. Obviously, you lose middle here. Okay, in this hypothetical, you're losing middle Ishmael. You're losing middle Sinclair, right? So you're losing middle Sinclair. But you could always run this with Hexnail. and then inflict nail and curse. You know what I mean? So you could inflict nails. Yeah, there's also ego. Like, I'm not going to count ego because ego fixes every problem, right? Like, also the Heath he got for that season. Yeah, he's got like, okay, hold on. Let me equip all of the ego that you would use on these characters theoretically, right? So this is what you would theoretically use on everyone here. So you'd have that one, you'd have Magic Bullet here, you'd have Yusang, you would have Tricolicism, you'd have Fourth Match. On Assault, you have Yearning, Capote, and then for Heathcliff, you have Move and Reg, Holiday, and yeah. So there you go. What are you doing now? I'm just giving you a theoretical Burn, Bleed, Envy team. All right, so in this team, okay, you have, and Liu Ishmael is the stand-in. She is the stand-in for Middle Ishmael, right? So, in this hypothetical stand-in, if you are wanting to inflict both burn and bleed, okay, you are trying to inflict both of them. Not like, that's why I don't have multi-crack, and that's why I don't have W here, because they don't inflict burn or bleed. So I want to be able to inflict burn, I want to be able to inflict bleed, and I want them to do that. So, this ain't envy no more. No, it is, because here's how it works. How does Yusunyata work? The Otis Yusunyata is like she's like the debuffer. She applies attack power up here. She actually goes positive with her ego. If the Lust Fragility gives her attack power up, and she buffs attack Lust damage up, which would be good for this burn team. So, let me explain. In this instance, we are inflicting burn and bleed. We have the 3 middle, 4 middle. Okay, 4 middle. Alright. Now, we have the 6th middle, the 5th middle, which would be Heathcliff. He is count. Now, obviously, you have to worry about gaining poise, but like, look how easy it is to gain poise on him. 4 count, 3 bleed. Yeah, you're gonna gain poise. So he's gonna help inflict count. He's also gonna be consistent envy res. You have move and reg with him. So, and you also have holiday. So holiday will increase the amount of bleed he inflicts. Okay, and poise he gains. This is very important. All right. So more poise, more bleed. Then you have move and reg, which will inflict burn. So you can inflict burn if you want and guarantee an envy res. And you will inflict resident reg microchip, which will make you take more damage from wrath and envy. And he will gain burn. You'll gain burn on clash loose. More importantly as well, this bit here. On hit with skills that apply burn potency or unique burn, or on hit with envy skills, inflict burn potency on the target by half of the total skill count. This turns P Quad Heathcliff into a burn ID. Alright, you hear me out? This turns Heathcliff into a burn ID. Because now you get half of the total coins rounded up 3 times a turn. Well, he gets half the coins, which is 1 plus 1, so he gets 2 burn. And he gets 2 burn. So his skill 2 inflicts 2 burn. His skill 3 inflicts 2 burn. Alright? That's 1. Now, why Liu Sang? So Liu Sang, the reason is because he has envy on his F3, so he's very strong. But more importantly, he inflicts consistent burn count on skill 2. He has great Tricolicism, which is great for inflicting burn count. Again, you can inflict the burn count here. We have, burn count here. You can also activate the burn. But he inflicts more burn potency. And he gets Shattered World, which takes more damage from burn. Okay, so we got a lot of burn in here, Mr. Everett, but what about my bleed? What about my bleed? I came in for bleed. Where's my... I don't care about all this. Okay. Move on to the other identity in this lineup. Barbara Otis. Here's where your envy is. Here's where your bleed. They'd be like, what do you mean? This is Barbara Otis. Barbara Otis has no envy in her kit. That's because if you're going to guarantee envy with her, you're going to use... I'll go for this. How about you? One of the cheapest Zane in the game. And the most consistent envy res ego in the game. 3 Envy and 1 Lusco. You can fuel this in 1 turn. I fucking guarantee you. 1 turn with this team. And with this, not only will you get ego resources for sins that you don't have, like gloom, gluttony, pride, things like that, right? You will also get needle, which inflicts more bleed count when you take damage. Nail, which at the end of the turn always guarantees they'll have at least 1 bleed count. Heal, so you can heal your team. And that's pretty much it. The passive is the bonus. And what you could do is you can corrode it if you want to, because the corrosion inflicts 4 needle. Or just 3 needle. Obviously, it's target random, and it's only 1 attack rate, but it's 3 envy res. Yeah, curse is also a bonus there, but you mainly care about the needle in this instance and the nail. This is a very interesting ego, because you want to lose this ego. You want to lose it if you want to inflict more status, which is very interesting. What does needle do? Very simple. It's a unique bleed. Okay, when you take envy damage, you gain +1 bleed count and reduce the attack by 1. You gain 1 bleed count and reduce its effect by 1 at turn count. So when they take damage, they gain 1 bleed count. When the turn ends, they get 1 bleed count. So theoretically, if it is the beginning of a turn, you can inflict up to however much needle bleed count. Awakening is 2 needle, so you can proc that in 1 move. So you can inflict 2 bleed count. And it is on the everyone, it's attack weight, right? And then on the corrosion, you can inflict up to 4, depending on how you want to clash this. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Turn end is just bleed. So you don't care about the bleed potency. You care about the bleed count, which is taking damage. But the bonus is the stack doesn't disappear. The stack remains. So you can keep this into the next turn. So it's fine. And there you go. And that's my theoretical middle Ishmael Envy burn team. Remember, this is a bleed Envy res burn. Alright? This is my theoretical Envy res bleed burn. You have bleed potency, you have 2 to 3 sources of bleed count. Alright, you have bleed ego from yearning. I didn't even talk about yearning. Alright? Which again, you could figure like that very easily. You get as you can see here, this actually eats bleed count though, but the most important part is the rose wedge. And I didn't even equip ego on her. Obviously you have yearning on her. Lifetime stew. Yearning on Dawn, obviously. Now blood feast consumed is not really a thing you're gonna have to worry about. But if you use the egos, you consume the blood feast, so. And if you really need even more bleed count, X now, which inflicts 3 now. So you can very much set up a turn. All right? Even if everything happens at 1 turn, like say it takes you 1 turn to set up, you can Hex Nail, Barber Otis Ego, you could Ishmael skill 2 or 3, you can crit with Heathcliff and proc as much bleed buffs on them as possible, get needle on them, get scissors, and then next turn they'll start the fight with like 4 bleed count, and then you just maintain it from there. Because you're countering, you're not going to obviously initiate the clash, which is very nice. Oh. Can I swap out Middle Dawn for manager for more blood feast and bleed? Well, then you lose the envy res. This whole thing is supposed to be envy res. Right, like that's what the whole team here is for. This team is like, we are trying to maintain Envy res. Also, I'll just close these down because we don't need this anymore. What about Queenie? Thing about Queenie is you can use Queenie, but this is specifically burn bleed. This is specifically burn bleed. So you could put her in there, but then you might as well shove everyone else around, because if you're not trying to focus on that, but yeah, you can put it in there. Support passives? Okay, well, let's look at some support passives, shall we? So probably want support passives that help maintain bleed, or more maintain inflictions and stuff. So let's see here. You could get, this would actually be a really good one. Index Faust support passive, so you can all jump the same target. Whoever is the first identity, you can have everyone countering on the same target. Which would be really funny. Imagine you have 3 counters targeting 1 slow slot and you just deal 15% more damage. That's funny. What about if you just care about being an Envy Res unit with charge? Then something like this, probably. Middle, Dawn, middle, R Corps, W Corp. Anything that has a Envy counter or a block, you probably want with Dawn. So this team here I've got multi-crack Faust. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 7. So I have 7 units here. So the team I would bring in is W Heath, multi-crack Faust, R Corp Roja, middle Sinclair, Donkey Lob. I'd have middle Brother, and I'd have R Corp Reindeer, Hong Lu. So that's 7 units, each of them with bleed. Each of them with Envy counters or blocks. What was the Team in Curious trailer? It was literally the 5 middle and multi-crack Faust. Where is she? The reason I didn't include multi-crack Faust in this is specifically because I wanted to focus on the Envy and bleed. The burn and bleed. But if you just wanted to do any Envy res, yeah, you could shove her in there. She can maintain her own charge count. She also inflicts Envy fragile, so you know, why not? If I had to do support passives with this team in specific, let's have a think. Probably one who groups for some lust. You can easily get lust in this team. So you probably want to be able to get some lust healing. Then for Roja, defensive, bleed. Is this bleed or damage? Damage up, tremor, shield, baddie, damage, Deviat's also, clash power, princess. I mean, princess is always good to have, so there's no downside to having princess. You think this thing have like a burn bleed team, kind of like how Rupture Poison the go? Maybe. Who knows? The pass doesn't work, does it? No. You could always go with base Roja. You should have blunt? Maybe. Ally with the highest damage gains blunt damage up next turn based on the... Yeah. Maximum of 3 gained by this effect? Yeah. I'd agree. Dishi would be a good support passive here so you can get the blunt. The problem is, how do you get the gloom? The problem is, Dishi's, you need 5 gloom. Now, the only way you get 5 gloom in this team is you use Otis Ego. So if you have to use Otis Ego and hope you get Gloom, because we don't get Gloom anywhere else. Hooray. But yeah, I guess we'll take the issue for that. Ryosho. Burn on random enemies. Honestly, probably Ncorp. That is a Lust Resin that's a bit hard to pull off. Kurokoma might be nice. Is this pierce damage? Ally with the fastest speed inflicts plus bleed. Yeah, just put Kurokoma in here. It'd be used in a burn focus team. If we're gonna use her in a burn focus team, you need to make sure it's with burn focus identities. So you need Philip. You will need Liu Sang. You will need Haisho Heathcliff. That's already fun. Lowest Sid affinity anyway? I think it does. I'm pretty sure it says it prioritizes it. The least owned affinities, yeah. So you'll most likely get Gloom and Pride. It'll most likely be a tie between Gluttony. It'll be Gloom, no matter what, actually. Yeah, it'll be Gloom. So yeah, you'll get Gloom first. So we'll go Kurokoma so you can inflict more bleed count. And then here we go Fire Fist, because you know, Fire Fist is the goat. This is a Wrathres. I mean, you could take this one, it deals more damage. I mean, you know what? You might consistently hing. You could consistently hit that. Kurokoma Captain, I think, has offense level down. Ooh. Maybe. Who knows? You go Fire Fist, Night Owl. No. You go Fire Fist, Kurokoma Captain, Priest. Your Gregor pick is yours to the picking. I'll pick hell, you can even do Liu. If you want. In fact, Liu might be OP. Let's say you have Ishmael as your first deployed identity. I mean, no, because she's not always the fastest. How many people hit 4 coins on this team? We have a lot of 4-coiners, don't we? We actually have a lot of 4-coiners on this team. You don't have a 4-coin, do you? No. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. You know what? I put Liu Gregor. We have 4 out of the 7 identities have 4 coins, which means that 4 out of 7 times, okay, you're going to be getting 30% bonus damage on your final coin. Hey, that ain't so bad. If you don't want that, you can just put Fire Fist on. Then for Honk Shnu, you could go with Dishi Salt, Dishi Lu to get SP on the staggered state, but you need Gloom. You can go Liu to inflict more burn count, which you might want to probably do this. Or you could go Captain, inflict more bleed potency. I remember Orshu passive. Orshu makes you inflict more tremor and bleed. But you have to have a resin. You either inflict more bleed and bleed count, or tremor and tremor count. Now, this is actually goated. However, it is a lost res, which you can activate on this team with Ishmael, because Ishmael has lost on his skill 1. You have Barber Otis lost on skill 2. So as you can see, it's a little bit hard to activate Lost. Actually, you know what? It is actually so hard to activate Lost. I don't know why I have Chroma here. You can do Egos. And then we'll let's sub her out. You'll be using her brain a lot. I don't think so. I'm just playing the powered up to have fun coins. Wait, does it? I thought it was always the 3. Oh, you're right. Barbara does have 4 coins. Oh my god, I completely forgot Barbara had 4 coins. I only thought she had 3 coins. 5 out of 7 identities, you have 4 coins. That is actually, and you know what? And it's Barber skill 3, which Barber skill 3 is actually nuts on her final coin. Look at that, 177. You're gonna actually get 207% bonus damage on the last coin. Anyway, let's remove this Faust ID because we can't do that, so just put Ada Blossom on. Sure. She Ishmael doesn't inflict more bleed, I think she only gets her buff. Yeah. Why is it 57? I don't know. And there you go. Again, this is supposed to be middle Ishmael, but if you have this ID on, if you have middle Ishmael and you have this team, congratulations. You can make Bleed Envy work consistently. Isn't that competitive harder than Harpooner? If you're going for only Envy Resin, yes, but this team is supposed to be a burn bleed team. So we have Harpooner not only to inflict count, to inflict bleed, but also when we use move in regular, we turn him into a bleed unit because he has 2 envy skills. He has 2 envy skills and he has 4 coins. And 3 and 4 coins. So it rounds up to 2. So that means his skill 1, his skill 2, and his skill 3 inflict burn. So that is why we have Pequod specifically. So we have 1, 2 bleed burn identities. You could also put, again, Ring if you want, but Barber Goddess. And there you go. In fact, this team is so goated. We're going to actually run this exact team. How useful would Reap be? You can put Reap in there if you want. There's no downside to putting Reap. The reason I didn't put Reap in there is because I wanted to get more bleed support. So I just had some more bleed support in there. But if you don't want to do that. In fact, this team is so goated. I'm actually going to copy this team code. I wish we had more team slots, bro. I wish we had more team slots, bro. But I'll make this my testing team for now. We're going to load the team in here. Boom. We're going to run this exact team. Keywordless. Mirror Dungeon. Didn't do ego. Oh, I did the ego. That's important. This is all the ego that is important. I didn't even say anything about Magic Bullet. So that's how you know. As you can see, this is all the important ego. What about Zwyro here? That's true. I mean, you could run Zwy. There are very minor modifications that you can do for this team. Unironically, you actually probably could put Zwyroja on. But the problem is it needs a Wrath Res, which is a bit hard. And there you go. So this is the theoretical team. And there you go. Still, I'm discussing team builds. Zwyroja. We can't do Zwyroja because it's a Wrath Res. Remember, we're trying to avoid Wrath Reses. We're trying to get as much as just Envy as possible. We're theory discussing. This is my theory build. I like playing the game. Sue me. Anyway, we can clear this team now. We'll make sure to run this team in the Mirror Dungeon when the new Ishmael's out. Look at her. Look at that cutie patootie. She doesn't know that she is obsessed. My fish is now a shark. Well, that's the glory about Limbus company, you can just do envy charge if you want. I mean, that's what I do on my blunt team. My blunt excavation is envy charge because I use you know, feed on. Like our blind obsession. There you go. Wow. Why is my Dawn empty? Dude, I have like not updated these I have not updated these affinity teams in a while. And you can tell. I didn't even put, I don't know why I didn't put Queen on here. But well. And there you go. That was the patch discussion and the Ishmael Dawn discussion. Next warp should be soon. When did we get warp last? It was in November, wasn't it? I think Warp Focus is going to be middle of February. I think we're going to get the Mirror Dungeon first. I think it makes more sense we get the new Mirror Dungeon first, then Warp Focus after. Yeah, 2-month Warp Focus. Middle of February makes sense. Middle of February. We get Mirror Dungeon not next week, but the week after. And then we get, after that, we get Warp Focus. It's middle of February. And then we get Hard Mode at the same time. The middle of Feb. Yeah, the middle. Well, what should we do now? We'll hope tomorrow. I could do a Mirror Dungeon. Could play River. I wouldn't mind doing an RR1. We could do a Railway one. We only played Railway 1 a few times. Let's do a Railway 1. What do we want to do Railway 1? Should we do should we do Base Sinners? You want to do a Base Sinners Railway 1? Do you think I can do Base Sinners Railway 1? Let's put egos on. Do I put egos on? Or nah? So I just say fuck it and just do base only. I mean, I got everything up to 4. The max level for this, by the way, is 55 and it's not 60. Okay, let's just do this. Let them cook. Alright, what are we dealing with? Blunt, Wrath, and Gloom. Alright, Blunt, Wrath, Gloom. Blunt. 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 Actually, I'd probably do Heathcliff first. There you go. Alright, it's only 5 identities. Wrath, Gloom, Wrath, Gloom. That's what's like fast. 헬리차! 로시나테! Nah, we can do no ego. Should be fine. This is just for fun. This is just for fun. Like I'm not gonna take this too serious. But you know what? It's a good change of pace. You know, sometimes we you know what I mean? We've only done Railway 1 twice. We've done RR1 when we did the first time we played it. And then we did Worst Team. And that was it. That's the only time. So, you know, I played Railway 5 a lot more times. Let's play Railway 1 a few more times. It's permanent content now. Now, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna make content out of it. Okay, cool. Fact down. That's gonna be a lot of SP for Heath if he wins this. Nice, dude. Will I finish before 120 turn? Oh yeah, easily. There's no way I shouldn't finish before 120 turn. I don't think I won't at least.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Will I make a video? Oh my god, Hong Lu? Jesus. Maybe? It depends how I feel. Probably not, but... Damn, these guys are... Dude, these guys are cheating. It all depends. Damn, these guys are actually cheating. Bro, the hardest wave is the first wave of Railway. I have no SP. These guys are cheating. There you go, get some SP. There you go. Boom. God damn. Ow. I can't kill these guys. These guys are fucking invincible. You know what I'm saying? Holy shit. I might have to fast. I might need to use some fast ego for this. Guys, these bugs are strong. I might need a fast ego for this one. I might need a representation emitter for this. Fast consult the shell shaft for this one. There you go. Now we got some SP. They get my free script? I don't think so. There you go. We love to see these dominatings. Perfect. Boom. I was checking, is this base ego? Yeah, pretty much. Am I winning? I just started, and they're kind of beating my butt. I'm just doing this for fun. So I'm not taking this seriously. I just thought, you know, change of pace from Mirror Dungeon. Yeah, let me change the thing for now, because we're done discussing everything now. So it's say for fun. Base center R1 bucket. You know, change of pace from the mirror dungeon. You know, play the. This is perma content now, so I'm like, you know, it's perma content. You know, gotta give it the, you know, the glaze it deserves. I am taking my sweet fucking time in this run though.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Is that the real stupid Fast in the Flesh? Maybe. Maybe it is. You think we'll get Furiosa? I think that would be crazy if we did. I hope so. Dude, we can't kill anything. Once we get to a certain point, I'm gonna just be using IDs with multi-coins.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Fan mail. Mail? Yeah, I do not have that. I don't have a fan mail. I do not have a PO box. I do not have fan mail. I do not interact with that stuff. Absolutely. I appreciate the thought, but hell nah.
안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
If you have anything you want to send or show, you can always post stuff in the Discord. I do see everything that's posted. That's probably the best way if you want to send something, or show something. But they've actually like postage? Nah. We get negative coin. We'll track you down. I'd prefer if you didn't. I'd much prefer if you didn't. C'est la vie. Dude, how long? I swear to, I'm not. Oh my, I'm not throwing these, dude. These take a million years. Kill him! Oh my god, I'm taking 10 turns. I mean, this is base run. I don't know what I expected. I don't know why I'm yelling at them when I expected it. Like, this is, I expected this. They all have single coins. Anglu, you're the strongest one here. Why is fast? Isn't she stupid and weak? No, she's not stupid. She's not stupid. She is a smart cookie. She tries her best, damn it. That's all I ever ask for.
행동을 개시합니다.
I'm slightly off base for 300. I think I'm pretty alright. Ow. That guy cheated. They are the stupids for not seeing how precious she is. Brr. We need to swap to IDs that have multi-coins. We need like Sinclair in here and like Roger and shit. Do you think we're gonna ID with a base move that has 5 coins? I mean, we get close. We get very close.
다음 판단을 부탁합니다.
But 5 coin, 6 coin is like a very, well, 5 coin is more realistic, but 5 to 6 coin is like a lot more of a, you know, very careful situation. And technically we already have a 5 coiner. It's Thumb Assault, remember? Thumb Assault is our most recent 5 coiner. He's the modern day Thumb 5 coin, and he was originally gonna get 6 coins, but director said, "Nah, we're not gonna do 6 coins." And everyone was like, "Yeah, fair enough." But we got 5 coins, so that's fucking awesome.
행동을 개시합니다.
I think it'll replace beef noodle-ish. I don't know. Probably not. Oh, okay. The thing about Liu Ishmael, it's not that Liu Ishmael's bad or anything. Liu Ishmael naturally has a lower coin count, like in terms of clashing compared to everyone else, because the gimmick is she can get higher than other people by interacting with her gimmick. So I guess if you're going for pure burn, I mean, if you're gonna run the Liu team, you run Liu Ishmael. I still think that makes the most sense. 5 coin. Oh no, there are IDs that have 5 coins, but the question was 5 coin base, and Thumb Assault has a 5 coin base. It's his ascended skill 2. Well, it's not ascended skill 2. It's his ammo. It's his second form.
당연한 결과죠.
Alright, we're almost done. 16 turns later, we're almost done. Okay, this is only taking so slow because of the IDs we're using. Our IDs are very 1 coin oriented. With the exception of Satoru Gojo, of course. Ah, damn, they just keep healing.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
Ow. This is a very fast run. They're healing! Listen, the G-Core bugs are stronger than the gamblers. Because look at that, they heal like 50% of their HP.
안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
You know, damn, I can't catch up. Do I think Caramel burn on blue coin would work on egos like Wingbeat? No. It doesn't work on egos as far as I'm aware because the skill has to say on use with Thermal Blade. Inflict bleed. Inflict burn equal to bleed. If the skill doesn't say that, then it doesn't do it. Like the skill 1 doesn't have that. Oh, we're done. Okay, watch how much faster. So this is like a 20 turn. Watch the next one. Next one is going to go way faster. Reason for that is because we're going to go with the slash gang.
내가 필요해?
와, 기대되네요.
La
앞장서시오.
last unit. What do we have? Bunny Lust. Gluttony Lust. Donkey. Elicha Roshanante.
따라가겠어요.
즉시
최선을 다해볼게.
따라가겠어요.
우와,
네.
네.
몸이 찌뿌둥하던
There you go.
이게 최선이겠죠?
Mount Otis will be free during that. Yeah, Mount Otis will be in the shop. So Nocturnal Sweeping Mount Otis. Alright, now that we have multi-coins, we are going multinational with how cracked we are. Also, we get the reissue change, by the way. Look at that. Ain't that nice? Doo-doo.
예술이 뭔지 보여주지.
I love Sinclair, dude. That's my boy right there. You saying? Show him why you're the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT, dude. W saying. When will the voice rerun be? The voice rerun will most likely take place after Mirror Dungeon, after Walpurgis. So it has to be, at the bare minimum, end of February. Do I play Fallout? No, I don't. I do not play Bethesda games. Shankum is very ideal. True. Sinclair farm a little bit of SP. Ah, my boy. Hey, child. Roshanante. Thought he was gonna lose. Nah, he'd win. Bunk. 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 Okay, I like. See how much more consistent our stagger thresholds are now? This is much better. Bow. Skip battles via cost. That would go crazy.
폭의 거울은 깨졌어.
Boom. Aya. Aya. Mamori. Do do. Do.
금방 다녀올게.
폭의 거울은 깨졌어.
Base only MD? No, this is R1.
예술이 뭔지 보여주지.
Doesn't he have a base of 4? Yeah, he's quite fast. The reason he's fast is because he has a goaded ass ego. He's a goaded ass ego.
생각대로 되었어.
There we go.
폭들을 제거하겠어.
Bam, bam. Bam.
승리했어.
Do, 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 do. It's because he has smoked the Zaza. True. He partook in a little bit of fun. She lose the memory? No, it's quite the opposite, I believe. It's more so that like the weapon is contained now, but there is a thread
금방 다녀올게.
still lingering that is like protecting. Well, that's my boy. Come on, don't lose. Atta boy, boom. How's the passive work? God, I always forget how his passive works. I think it's when he takes damage, he binds himself, but he deals more damage. Yeah, if I actually had to say what the worst... Yeah, look, the ego passive is... He gets hit, and he deals big damage when targeting fatal type weaknesses. But it's very interesting. Go Sinclair, win the attack. Any nurse fathers? Maybe like 3. I think we only get 3 nurse fathers at max, maybe. Bam. Do 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 do. Let's look at this groovy ass music. Do 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 do.
적들을 제거하겠어.
Stab, stab. Bam, bam. Owie. Halberd combo. Ah! Madon! Madon!
적들을 제거하겠어.
Will Ida return with Shin, Mong, and a relic? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think.
겨우 이 정도야?
Hates ring sag.
해보겠습니다.
No bullet, 1 shot to clear. No, I don't want to kill him.
기다려. 아직 안 끝났어. 겨우 이 정도야? 생각대로 되었어.
Do 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 do. Do do do. Bum 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 bum.
적들을 제거하겠어.
What was the hardest? 1, 2, or 3? Probably 3. I'd say 3 is the hardest still. 3 is definitely the hardest. I'd say part 1 is the second hardest because you don't know what to expect.
해보겠습니다.
And I would say part 1 has the biggest jump in difficulty, but I would say besides that, part 3 is the hardest. Watermelon. This says maybe he didn't kill him. He was about to choke him to death. Let's do Delta Stream again. Not only will I be doing Deltarune, but guys, I might even be doing a different game as well.
적들을 제거하겠어.
겨우 이 정도야?
I was thinking potentially doing Ace Attorney. Because I have never played the Ace Attorney games. I know about them, but I have never played them.
폭의 거울은 깨졌어.
When will I play LOR again? I probably will play LOR. The last times I've done my LOR days was because I was playing the rhythm game. But if I had to actually play the LOR game, we might do like a modded LOR day. Or I play like a bunch of LOR mods. That might be fun. Easy Tony? Yes. Also Glubbo! Hi Glubbo. And we want to go with blue. We need Pierce. We need this. Babel? Maybe. Okay, look, the reason I haven't played Babel is not because Babel's bad or anything. It takes so... You gotta understand. I love taking my time with shit, okay? But you guys already flame me enough for deciding a team for 45 minutes. Imagine I have to do Babel, where not only it takes me an hour to make my team, but it takes me 2 hours to complete a single fucking fight. Why are my levels not level 60? Because the cap is 55 in Bokak. So it's not because I don't want to play Babel or anything. It's because one fight, I'll take a whole 4-hour stream to do one fight, and maybe like 1.5 fights. It's too slow. It's actually too slow. Anyway, it's time for Glup.
즉시 출격하기 살리자 로신한테.
Karicha Roshinante!
와, 기대되네요.
Ace Attorney is the second on my position. Now, whether I start Ace Attorney before I finish Deltarune or like after, I'm not sure. I might just slot it in. I might just do what Frapolo does, because Frapolo, he does fucking everything at once. He does like always does like 12 shit at once, which is very cool. So I could always do it like Frapolo. Schedule 1. I don't have Schedule 1. So I might just do it how like Frapolo does it, and I might just like, if I feel like it, I'll just do it. We need to attack the left eye. Whee! Oh, hello little Guppy. Hello little Guppy. Whee! Whee! Okay. That's the left eye. Struggling. Neutral. Not struggling. Dominating. That's quite good. Oh yeah, this is good. Wee. Good after. Give some rest. Hey, you do Queen of Hatred Library? Dude, the best advice I give you, Queen of Hatred Library, is skip her for now and go back to fight later. Did I lose or dominating? Crazy. Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure how long Deltarune will take. I've been told that Chapter 3 is pretty long, and I think Chapter 4 is longer. Damn, he is staggering the fuck out of me right now. Holy shit. Loppo, calm the fuck down, bro. I guess that's what happens when you don't have anyone clash the body, but Jesus Christ. I might need to do Land of Illusion. I'm gonna do a fucking Land of Illusion. I need to get some SP back. God damn. Oh yeah, the Innovalo. I'm excited for the Innovalo VAs. Alright, this should give us some SP buffs next turn. That's Galuppo win. A new save file. I am John Mirror Dungeon Limbus. John Mirror Dungeon Limbus does not concern himself with difficulty. Also, this is actually like insanely good to use right now. There you go. Boop. Alpha. What do I think the new thing will be about? Great question. Also, I really didn't stagger. That's unfortunate. Ow. Ow, my SP! This fucking frog! Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
좋아, 간다.
Yeah, I staggered the eye. I'd win. I didn't win! Ah! Well, I can't corrode. Ow, this frog is strong. This frog is strong.
간다.
I want to grind, but I can't play MD. Just do it casually. Just watch a video in the background. That's what I do sometimes when I used to not stream it. I can't even get SP back. There's no point. Oh my god. I was about to say I want a clash. Oh my god. Ah ha ha. Donkey no. Oh, Hung Lu. He does so much damage. Mersault, win the fight, please. I beg you.
폭들을 제거하겠어.
Gregor. Gregor. What's his gimmick? You have to break his eye. Flip I go Glove. Hi, Angela. You have to break his eye. Once you break his eye, he gets put in a very depressive stance, and you have to, and you can re-heal your SP from there. So now that we broke the eye, we can actually heal. Like, now we can do the gimmick where we heal our SP. We still have to win the clash, but at least it's a little bit easier. Oh, please. This frog is strong.
제거하겠어.
Never mind, I'm stronger. So now in this phase, we can get all our SP back. I wanted to see you getting skirted by the yapper. Well, you're watching it. And now it's over. Now the fight's won. Like, unironically. Now I just chill and I farm SP. Because he's gonna give me SP. So I just kill him until the game ends.
폭들을 제거하겠어.
What does he do? He makes my sinners depressed. Eh. Come on, Otis. No way, Otis lost that. Bruh. He just cries. Will chains of others do it? Yeah. I just decided not to do a chains of others.
해보기는 할게요.
Come on, Gregor.
어쩔 수 없지만요.
Damn it, Gregor. Even with the buff.
야!
Yeah. Where? Arab sad goes to a frog. Yeah, he's just sad. Oh, there you go. Now he's not even attacking anymore.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
He's just sad. Yeah, dude, this guy has a lot of sinking, man. Hey. He's giving a little bit back. Favored. Like that. I'll take a neutral.
좋아, 간다.
Come on. He keeps rolling the 50-50. God damn it. You know what? Actually, it's a good thing. Make me depressed. Reset my fucking SP, bro. That's what I'm just gonna have him reset my SP. It'll be actually faster.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Here you go. Wah. Eh.
곡들을 제거하겠소.
Alright, attaboy. There we go. Get some Otis SP finally. Bonk, 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 bonk.
규정에 따라 실행합니다.
The frog is sad. Very Bucket gives us 2 IDs of egos. What would there be besides Hohenheim and Ricardo? Sweepers? Nah. Sweepers would be a bit... I mean, like, maybe it's a possibility. But I'm leaning less and less likely that sweepers will be... it simply due to the fact that we don't really know how that would work. That's kind of like the only reason.
좋아, 간다.
Here you go. There you go. Gregor finally corroded, which is a good thing, because that means he's going to reset his SP. They might do more, like, middle IDs. They could do another Syndicate ID.
좋아, 간다.
The thing is that if it's Nocturnal Sweeping... Oh, did no one clash that? If it's Nocturnal Sweeping, we're going to get a high show. That's the difference.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
Up a checkup, we might get another lobotomy corp gear. Zigong Otis? I wish it was fucking Zigong Otis. There's too many good Otis IDs, potential Otis IDs this season.
해보기는 할게요.
Which is fair because she only got 1 ID last season, so. The random triax. You know what? Yeah. We get lamp? I think it's a possibility. Yeah. You gotta remember, chat. Number one thing is that there is a higher potential. I literally mean the word potential. For IDs, okay, that already exist in the game as something else, like an ally, to get in the game already. So, considering there is an allied unit with the lamp, there is a much higher chance that there will be a potential ID with the lamp. And considering we're around that, WoW level terms when it comes to ego gear, yeah, it makes sense. Oh, you actually won it, nice. Moses Otis. As I said, there's too many good Otises. We could also get Ricardo. Where?
좋아, 간다.
Come on. Attaboy. I have a very high feeling that we're probably not going to get a color for a while.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
How did he get it? We don't know.
좋은 전략입니다.
He probably got it from another facility. He probably got it transferred. Because remember, the original facility, there was always, like, the gear exists, like, everywhere. Like, it doesn't just exist in the facility. So they probably transferred it out, or it got, like, they collected it when they were doing the Lobotomy Corp raid. Right, there's a lot of potentials where they got it from. They don't strictly have to have them in the facility.
와, 기대되네요.
따라가겠네. 문제 없어요.
앞장서시오.
즉시 내가 예술을 보여주지.
이게 최선이겠죠?
DS sponsor running low on lunacy. I don't think we want to ask DS for her help, considering what she's up to. Which, in the, you know, common speaking terms, is doing a little bit of trolling.
행동을 개시합니다.
What was the crossbow? That's also apparent. That is a big bird weapon. I believe that's a new. I believe it's a new weapon he has. It's the lamp is the crossbow is a new one. So new bird law dropped. He has a fucking sick ass crossbow. He sort of has beef with T-Core. What?
기꺼이 저 풍진 세상으로.
Bonk bonk.
행동을 개시합니다.
Onward, Roshanante.
적을
True.
남겨두겠습니다.
Technically, this is already a thing we kinda know. For example, Mimicry has a scythe and a sword, but we as the players only get the sword. But technically, Mimicry was extracted as a scythe first. So I think it's not guaranteed. I think, like, gameplay-wise, that is just, you know, how it works. But I think in the lore, it is not always a one-to-one... that like an abnormality only drops one piece of weaponry.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
Bonk bong. Why does my bonk bonk sound like bong bong? Because I don't pronounce the K. Very hard. When I say bong, I don't say bonk. I say bonk. It sounds like bong. On Scythe and Sword the same thing because the weapon just morphs. No, it was extracted as a sword. It was extracted as a scythe and then turned into a sword. Whether it morphs or not is a different story. That's probably just nothing there's gimmick. We're gonna get Oda's Zigong. We're gonna get Oda's Moses. We're gonna get
재밌는 순간이에요.
middle Otis. Dude, so many Otis IDs. Agreed.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Whatever the form of the department wants, that also probably makes sense. The whistle. Please die.
행동을 개시합니다.
Extra Otis. And I lost a 5%. That's unfortunate. Listen to how odd Yummy. Yeah, I'm just swinging.
재밌는 순간이에요.
I'm just swinging. Will she be good for bleed? I mean, she'll most likely, if you want a reference, look at Middle Sinclair. Because he's probably the best reference
할게요. 아직 늘 새롭다니까요.
for bleed.
쉽네.
Oh god. That was just the first of them, I forgot.
먼저 간다.
Yay, we were hit head.
모든 무상무정 시선해봐야 부질없다 해도
The damage.
저 풍진 세상으로.
When Novella comes out first, I believe it should be a Bokak. Usually a Bokak will be first before
파우스트가 알아.
the Novellas.
어떠냐?
The whistle.
행동을 개시합니다.
Bonk. Yay.
다음 판단을 부탁합니다.
Faust, no. That's about we get waiver passenger. That's a potential right there. That is actually true.
먼저 간다.
That is a potential, as they say.
모든 무상무정 시선해봐야 부질없다 해도
Boop. What other cities would like to see House of Spiders? Honglu, Rega. Who else? Think.
어떠냐?
Guess Faust. Roger. Quite a pickin'.
표정에 따라 실행합니다.
What clears me under the fastest? And core Fell Bullet spam. Oh. Outside of Fell Bullet, probably a full Rupture team. Like a Rupture Hydro team. Whistle.
먼저 간다.
Prospect a good Albinot? What I mean, to be honest with you, I could also see Otis doing it. But yeah, Faust could do it.
지금이 기회입니다.
Excuse me. Otis has a ring ID. Yeah, but Mersault had his middle already. So it's a bit stretched thin already. So,
안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
but yeah, if you want to be, you know, able to so that everyone else, you know, that's cool. The Eternal Clash. Nice.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Ishmael. No. Am I a ring ID? Nope. As far as I'm aware. Two more down.
표정에 따라 실행합니다.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
All right. I win these.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
That's my boy. Slide and tackle and die. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I did not maintain her bleed.
먼저 간다.
All right. Yeah. Daddy ass. Please. Die.
행동을 개시합니다.
표정대로.
Hooray! Alright, next is Alleyway Watchdog, but we're gonna actually put that on pause. Because that will be a long fight. And although it's a little bit early, we are actually gonna put a pause on for today because I need to do some stuff in the morning. Any predictions on the roadmap stream coming? I've got no clue when the roadmap is gonna happen. But predictions, maybe new Mirror Dungeon updates, Railway 6 updates, ID teaser, who knows? You know, all that goodiness. Dawn stare. I've had this Dawn to stare at you. So yeah, guys, that is going to be it for tonight. It's a little earlier than usual. No drawing tonight. I gotta get to work in the morning. I gotta wake up early. So I gotta wake up early, unfortunately. But tomorrow we will be back to consistent times, and we may even do some tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining. As a little bit, as I said, the base run was just as a bit of a, you know, distraction. So, all right, all good, guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you haven't seen the Ishmael video already, go nuts. It's uploaded already. And yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. You have a good one, and I'll see you all later. Take care. Bye.